That applause doesn't seem loud enough. It does not seem loud enough.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Do you have it? Okay. So thank you all for coming here today. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. All right. So I'm a very hands-on person, so that's why I want to be able to interact and walk around. So if you were here in January, let me see your hands up. January 31st, to be precise. You were here in January. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You're here too. Okay, so if you came with the journal you got in January, let me see your hands up. So you came with your journal. And you filled the things in the first few pages in the journal. All right, so I want one person that brought their journal and the journal is functional. I want the person to come out. I don't want real estate people.
You should die.
You are working in real estate. No, yeah.
But none of it has anything to do with real estate.
Okay, yeah, come.
Which kind of like discrimination? Goodness, what's the name for that?
Did I say you were going to speak?
Occupation racism. Or what
All right. So in January we distributed this and we spoke about goal setting. I mean, it's a normal phenomenon that people normally set goals at the beginning of the year. Am I correct? Yeah. So we spoke about goal setting in January, and we designed a framework that. Sorry. Sorry, that's distracting me. Okay. So we all set goals in January, and I just want to walk over one of the person that set goals. Okay. So are you comfortable reading your goals out?
Yeah, I'll read the one I can, I'll read the one I cannot.
Okay, so read your goals.
Okay, so step 1 was to define my 10x goal. And I said I want to manage and upgrade my finances efficiently, thereby having an equivalent of 4 million naira in savings and 2 million naira in investment portfolio by the end of year 2025.
2025, yeah. So what the next step is your motivation, right?
So the next step was why this goal and my motivation. I said this is important to me because so far I've been able to manage other aspects of my financials and build an healthy habit around them, but my finances has been lacking, and since 2023 that I've got paid employment, I don't have any savings or investment portfolio.
Okay. So what's the next?
So the next is break it down into milestones. So 1 million naira in savings, 500k investment per target that we have per quarter. We have 4 of them. So for March 2025, June 2025, September 2025, and December 2025. So the action plan, I didn't even see what I wrote.
The action plan is to work on a portfolio and
learn vastly about personal finance, get a much high-paying job or source of income, then identify resources and support needed. I said reading and learning about managing personal finances, extra source of income, the habit of saying no, and staying disciplined. Then support system. I said my man, sorry.
Okay, so that's why you're covering his name. Okay, I just figured out now. Okay, I don't want to see his name. All right.
And then my employers.
Your employers. Oh, okay. Is there a next page?
Yeah.
Okay.
So challenges and solutions. The number one obstacle might be impulse buying and excessive spending. Number two, I believe I can get the jobs, gig, or income opportunities, but if they don't come as soon, that might also be an obstacle. Yeah, so my next three actions: number one, plan out means for extra source of income; two, manage what I currently have and spend wisely; and three, have a strict budget and stick to it.
All right. That's all right. So go back to, okay, you still remember?
Yeah. So tracking method, reduction in total expenses and money spent from previous months, increase in savings amount, and establishment of an investment portfolio account. Then lastly, commitment to my vision. I, Aishat Useni, am fully committed to achieving my 10x vision by December 2025. I will stay focused, consistent, and adaptable as I work towards my goals.
Signature and date.
Bam.
Chakam. Right, so now go back to the second page where, yeah, so you were able to break down your goals into quarters, right?
Yes.
So this is second quarter. So how far into your goals have you gotten?
Okay, right now my plan was to do 4M at the end of the year. But that means right now I should be on 2M, but
yeah, unfortunately, almost 2M.
Unfortunately not. But I'm currently on 1.5.
So you're currently on 1.5?
Yeah.
So which is close to 2M?
Yeah.
So can you give a round of applause? So that means January wasn't wasted. I mean, at least if I can find one person that stuck to their goals and there's a pathway to achieving their goal, I'm glad. I'm happy. So very quickly, I want us to go over this goal setting thing again. Very quickly. So if you guys set goals, if you set goals this year, let me see your hands up. If you wrote them down, not just setting them, if you now wrote the goals down, let me see your hands up. Slightly higher, please. Okay, so let's say about half of us wrote our goals down. So if you are still working on your goals and you have not given up, right? Can I see your hands up? Don't lie. Yo. All right, so if you feel stuck on some of your goals or all of your goals, if you feel stuck anywhere, can I see your hands up? Okay. So right now, today, what we are trying to do today is we are trying to close the gap between, your goals and execution. So that's what we are going to focus on today. And my next, what's it called now? My next conversation line would be, so I want to ask a random question, and I want responses from the audience. So I would want the mics passed around. So the question is, if I gave you 5 million naira right now, and you must use the 5 million naira in the next 90 days to grow your business or career, can you tell me exactly what you would do right now? So who wants to share? If I gave you 5 million naira right now, right, can you tell me exactly what you would do? No, before you give out the mic, I want to see how many hands up. Like, if you can, I'm not asking you to come and share right now, but if you know in your mind that you know exactly what to do with that 5 million, if you know exactly what to do with the 5 million pertaining to your goals, I want to see your hands up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Say around 21. How many are we here? Oh, you guys did a head count. Where's Temi? Okay, she's not here. So last time they counted, they said we were about 80 something. So which means only about 25% of us, if we got 5 million naira right now, we know exactly what to do with it. Am I correct? So I will give about 2 people the opportunity to share what that is. One person from this angle, one person from this angle. All right. If you raise up your hand, So introduce yourself, tell us what your name is, and shoot.
Good day, everyone. My name is Temidara Komode. I'm a corporate sales executive and also an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Well, if I have 5 million naira, these are the list of things I will use it for. Marketing, stock up, buying of stocks for what we have, I would not say have a physical store because we don't need it at the moment. So basically just marketing and buying of stock. We already have the clientele and all that we need to make the business work. There's already a structure that works. But
Okay.
basically that 5 million I would only work for marketing right now and stock option because there are a lot of, according to our goals, which we're working with, because the business also has goals, we've done about 80% of what we have in our goal plan. It's
For
not the
the
end of the year yet, but yeah, we're good like that. So, like I said, just marketing and buying of stock, that's just it.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. But if you've done 80% of your goals in June, your goal was too small to begin with.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's too small. What I mean is the other goals that do not need a finance plan.
Oh, okay, 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 all right.
Okay.
What's the second
Good
message?
afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So basically, I run a footwear brand, handmade footwear brand, and one of the few things that drive growth in this business is a large customer base.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get a large customer base? Basically, you get them by running ads and mouth-to-mouth conversations, if that suits you. And running ads generally, like Zedek said, it costs hundreds of thousands of naira to run weekly. So with a 5 million naira hypothetical grant, can actually scale that. And secondly, another thing that drives growth in the footwear business is equipment that can allow you to scale. I mean, on a grand scale, basically. So if you are running on a one industrial machine and one or two filing machines and one or two sews, they call it last in the footwear business. So you will need enough of these things for you to be able to scale. Because if you're having one or two size 44 lasts and you have hundreds of size 44 to make, you can't particularly meet your orders and everything. So having an hypothetical 5 million naira grant will enable you to buy these products, which in turn allows you to scale on the long run.
On the
So
long
yeah,
run.
that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. So marketing and
Yeah.
expanding your product line so you
Customer
can produce
base.
faster. All right, makes sense. So for the people that mentioned that they know exactly what they would use 5 million naira to do, one thing that you would pick out between both of them is they have it in their head, right? And just like Fire said when she was speaking, she mentioned that she was lucky, but she wasn't prepared for the luck. And then she got a lot of calls, a lot of pitches, people wanting to invest in her business, and I'm very pretty sure that she didn't even have a business plan or something to give to them. Am I correct? Right. So which means that the first step towards 10x growth is planning, and I can't overemphasize how important that is. But planning is not the focus of this session today, right? So the focus of this session today is execution, which means I'll be talking to about the 25% of people that raised up their hands. But of course, every other person, I hope that you guys catch up in the conversation. Are we good? So today I'm here to talk about what's it again? Okay, not just execution now, but speed of execution equals to 10x growth. And if anybody ever wondered why I like the word 10x so much, it is simply because I had done 10x multiple times, right, in my business. Or should I say so far at least 3 times, right, in my real estate business. I was able to grow in revenue from 5 million to around 85 million. How many x is that? That is well over 10x. Then the next year, I grew revenue to about 1 billion. So 5, 85, 1 billion. So what should be my next target? 10 billion. So which means I know crystal clear what my goal was. And as someone that has set a goal, I need to be able, right, to figure out a plan and create systems that ensures that my goals executed. So now let's talk about growth. So what is growth? If I ask a lot of you what growth is, all of you will say similar things. So can someone just tell us what growth is? One person. What is growth? Or what do you think constitutes growth? Anybody? Okay. What's your name? Fatia. So what do you do?
I'm a student.
You're a student. Okay.
Financial modeler.
Okay, finance. You're in finance.
And
You were in the last 10x.
yes.
Yeah. I saw your video. Go on.
Okay, growth is basically change.
Okay, growth is change.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like anything that is going to skyrocket your potential. There's a particular thing you want to do at the moment right now. And there's a particular thing you want to do at the moment right now that is going to 10x your next step. It's just like a potential. That's the potential you need to close that gap and get to the point you want to get to. So I just feel like it's that courage to just take the first step. So that's just growth. That's that change just to leave your comfort zone. That's
Okay, so for to help you summarize what you said,
Yes.
so you're trying to say growth is, you trying to fill a vacuum,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That you identify in terms of results,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then of course it constitutes the overall effect is change
Yes.
that you see.
exactly.
Okay, yeah. So if I ask someone else, they will give me a similar response that growth is moving from point A to point B. Am I correct? But one thing that you must understand is, for you to grow from point A to point B, you must first become the person that can grow from point A to point B. So which means, if I'm going to move from making 5 million in a year to making 100 million in the next year, right? I need to be the kind of person that can make 100 million. So if I have the 5 million mindset, if I have the 5 million customer base, if I have the 5 million marketing channel, if I have the 5 million, equipment, if I have the 5 million set of employees, 100 million will always be a fallacy. I will always chase it and never eat it. Am I correct? Am I correct? You guys don't agree with me. So if you think I'm correct, so which means growth oftentimes, or a lot of the times, growth is not just, an end goal. It's a process that you must first become. Right? It's a process that you must first envision and try to become before it actually comes. And there's internal growth, which is your mindset, habits, clarity, discipline. And then there's your external growth, which most of us would normally, terminalize as growth. Say things like your revenue growth, things like your impact, things like your business reach, things like, say, your followers on Instagram, right? And the overall correlation between these two types of growth is usually as a function of one working in line to ensure that the other one comes to place. So if you grow internally, it becomes easier for you to attain what you call external growth in terms of your revenue. Am I correct? And what maybe the other goals you set for yourself. But now the major challenge that people that people have when it comes to growth, I'm going to talk about that very quickly. But before we get to that, I'm going to help a lot of people here identify what we know as growth drivers, right? And then one of the major problems of growth, in summary, is people don't know, or should I say businesses or entrepreneurs or people that work in several professional fields, they don't know what constitutes growth. Oftentimes, you focus on the wrong things, right? And you expect a seemingly different result. So, number one, every business or career has one or two activities that actually moves the needle. So you have one thing that if it happens for your business, so you classify it as growth. Am I correct? So for you, what is that one thing that you know that, okay, if we do this, or if we achieve this by the end of a certain period, it is growth? What is that one thing? Yes.
I think it goes beyond one thing.
Mm-hmm.
For I think scalability is a strong factor in my business. So ability to scale beyond staff that basically, we have done it was and sense.
I know you're talking about scalability. I'm talking about a business activity, right, that directly correlates with growth. One business activity. That so to you feel like it is producing a lot of footwears. You say 1,000, right? Footwears monthly. So that's what you term as growth, right? So how do you get your orders currently? I mean, or should I say, how do you fulfill your orders currently? I mean, when you get orders, you produce in bulk, or you fulfill your orders as they come in. So basically, pre-orders. So, if you say producing 1,000 footwears means growth to you, it means you must have gotten 1,000 orders. That's so now your growth driver is not producing 1,000 footwears, which you think is your focus. Your growth driver should be getting 1,000 customers. Yeah. So I mean, getting 1,000 orders. I mean, so getting 1,000 footwear orders, right? So whether from 50, whether from that should be your goal. So now, if you're saying getting 1,000 customers is your goal, 1,000 orders, sorry, is your goal. So what are the things you need to put in place to ensure that the customers come in? Mm-hmm. 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 So ads and mouth-to-mouth conversation. So currently, how many orders do you average monthly? Orders do you average monthly? I mean, how many orders comes in averagely on a month? So 50, 100 in a month. 50, 100 orders in a month. So what do you think, is a direct attribute to, I mean, what do you think contributes directly to getting these 50 orders? What do you think if you do differently will increase these other specific things? Differently, or maybe double down on? Ads, right. So how much do you currently spend on ads? You can't give a figure now. 50K in a month. So let's look at the higher end of the curve. 100K orders get you between 50 to 100. 100K gets you between 50K to 100, 50 to 100 orders in a month. And if I'm pricing an average order to be around, say, is 20K fair, 25K per order, or 30K? What's the average price of an order? 45K per order, right? 45K per order multiplied by, say, a midpoint, 75 orders in a month. So how much is that in revenue in a month? Can someone help me do the math? Three million 375,000, right? And you spend 100K on ads. So I understand that you would have a lot of costs, other costs, right? Especially, cost of production. So what then happens is, if you are waiting for maybe an injection, if you are waiting for, something to happen, or if you are waiting for, a miracle per se, that increases this order from 100 to 1,000, say before the end of the year, it will probably not happen. So what would make it happen is for you to ensure that you increase your quota for this guy. And if you can get this guy to around 200K in the next month, of course, it doesn't guarantee you they are going to get a lot of orders, but it increases the chances that you even get the orders, right? So if you can increase this guy, and if it means, maybe you personally have to suffer for it, right? You can get this guy from 50 to 100 to maybe say from 75 to 150, which increases this margin. Am I correct? So this is a practical way I do stuff. So Zechariah said he always runs ads every time. He's always running ads. I mean, he says if you stop running ads, it's like you're pressing a switch. You're turning off a switch. Right? I run businesses, and our ads never stop running. Do we get, I mean, because what we do is very capital intensive, is real estate. It's not something that people buy every now and then. A dollar homes. Because what we do is we sell in the millions, sometimes hundreds of millions. We don't get orders every day. But once we turn off ads, we stop getting inquiries, new inquiries. And that's why we can't stop running ads. And the same thing goes in our short-leg business, because that one is much more affordable, right? Our short-leg goes for as low as 25k, 30k, 40k, 45k. I mean, we don't stop running ads on our short-leg business. And how much we get in bookings every month is directly proportional to how much we spend on marketing. So if I know that I need to spend a certain amount of money in marketing to get a certain amount of number in revenue, and I don't fulfill my own quota, will customers come from heaven? No. So one thing that you need to ensure that you do, as a business person, is identifying what your growth driver is. So the biggest growth driver for every business is sales. Once you get sales solves all of your problems. But you need to create a system around getting sales. So sales works hand in hand with system that you have built. You get my point? So systems you built in the sense that, if you, for example, if you say you have a 10 million naira budget for ads from now till December, you want to do 2 million every month. Just like you said, if you commit that money into ads, you get more orders that you can fulfill. Do you understand? So as you grow your business, you build systems that can fulfill those orders, and also ensure that your product is also a good fit for the market. Because no matter how much money you have to run to market, if it's a bad product, it's a bad product. It won't sell. So you need to ensure that you do all of the things that is within your power to ensure that you are in the market for the right reason. Things like ensuring that your product is the best it can ever be. That's number one. Your brand is the best it can ever be. You are showing up as often as you need to show up, whether online, whether in physical places, and you ensure that you build system that can fulfill the revenue model that you have set out for yourself. So, but then it all starts from identifying what your growth driver is. But a lot of people make mistakes, right, on the wrong things when maybe starting a business or trying to identify a growth driver. And I'll tell you what it is, right? So today we're going to be using your business a lot. The last 10x, what example were we using? The cake business. But now it is the shoe business. So if I am trying to grow my shoe business, let's say I'm starting from scratch. Let's say a lot of people are here and they want to start a business from scratch, and you are telling us that your business, you have set a goal for your business, it's your first year, you want to ensure that you do maybe 1,000 orders, before the end of the year. So your growth driver should be getting 1,000 customers. Am I correct? But a lot of people will wake up and say, oh, I want to design the perfect logo. I want to, I want a very despicable name. When you hear the business name, you sort of just, feel luxury. I want to grow my followers. People are following me. They're liking, oh wow, they're liking my post. Of course, those are associated insights to understand how people are accepting your brand. But as a business owner, as a CEO, as the leader of the business, what is your core responsibility? Sales. So that's why I preach that at every point in time, when you are running a business, right, you don't get disconnected from sales. That's number one. And number two, as soon as you can pay for people to do all of the other things that are not directly attributed to sales, as soon as you can pay for it, start paying for it, so that you can focus on the funnel that brings in what? Money. Because money solves all the problem of the business. Am I correct? For example, if we assume all of you here are running businesses, it is your job to ensure that you're in conversations like this. It is your job to ensure that you are networking. It is your job to ensure that you're exposing yourself to opportunities, that directly brings money to your business. You shouldn't be the one, thinking of the content idea, blah, 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 blah. Those things They are good. They are good to have, nice to have. Am I correct? But they are not growth drivers. So, as businesses today, one thing you should ensure you do, right, is to ensure that you know what your growth driver is. And this doesn't relate to only businesses. So, when we talk about, people in career, how many people are not business people here? If you're not a business person here, but you're attending, you're a business person, there's nothing you can tell me. You know why I say he's a business person? No, let me not cast you. Because if I cast you, I'll cast myself. Alright, so he's my friend. Let's give it up for Okewo. He's my friend, is a chartered accountant. We school together. He works in very big places. And the last time one of my church members, they work in the same place. And I asked him, oh, do you know this guy? He said, oh, yes. And then I think 2 weeks ago, I was asking him, how's my friend? And he said, yeah, he has resigned. I'm like, you resigned? So he's a businessman, right? Because he's always looking for opportunities. And he makes money from me. Because he's in charge of some of the things that we do in my business. That is money related. I'm owing you money, Abby. I know. So the reason why I said that is, we were preparing our accounts and it was telling me, I need to provide people that I'm owing, blah, 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 that we need to, do some reports. And I told him, I'm not owing anybody. But he kept hammering that I was owing that. I said, I'm not owing anybody. He said, but you are owing me. And he says, because I am owing him, then there's a high chance I am owing other people. So you're the only person. I'm repeating it again, you're the only person I'm owing. But that's just by the way. So, but very quickly, I also want to help one or two other people identify what their growth driver is if they don't already know it. So if you are confused about what your growth driver is and you are willing to share, and so we can help you discover what your growth driver is, can I see your hands up? 1, 2, 3. I want only 2 people. Okay, the first person. Who's the first person? It is you. You are the first person. You are shy. Please give her the mic. Let me pass the mic. It's behind you. Okay, don't worry. Yeah. So you're going to introduce yourself and tell us what you do. So, and what you think your growth driver is for your business. Can you try to turn on the mic? Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olatunde, and I'm a transporter. I provide transport services. And I think my growth driver can hear me. Can you hear me now?
She's very shy.
I think my growth driver is having good relationship with people. Because I'm into transport, and people need to secure. They need security.
She said our growth driver is what? Having good. Sorry about my handwriting. With people, right?
And I'm finding it very difficult to maintain that space.
It's very obvious. So that's what your good driver is. Okay, you can sit. So how many of you think that she has the right growth driver? If you think she has the right, you think she has the right growth driver. Who else thinks she has the right growth driver? You think so too. You think so too. So how many of you think she doesn't have the right growth driver? You think she doesn't have the right growth driver? Who else thinks she doesn't have the right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you are in the middle, you two are as confused. Let me see your hands up. Because you are this, yeah. So personally, I don't think she has the right growth driver. Who said yeah? But when I was talking, you didn't. Okay, raise your hands. Right. I don't think she has the right growth driver. Right. What's on her mind about what she thinks the right growth driver is nice to have. Right. If I am running a transport business, I don't have to be an extrovert. I don't have to like talking to people. Do you understand? I don't have to build good relationships. Of course, relationships are good, but I don't think I have to do that. It's just a nice to have. Am I correct? Am I correct? You may not. Who said no? You did. Okay. You feel like it's mandatory to have good relationships.
I don't think it's mandatory. I feel like if she has a good road driver,
Mm-hmm.
what she just needs to probably do is see the type of circle that she works in.
Okay.
Because you can't be in transportation and not have a very good circle. Your circle is very important. And there are some businesses in this world that without the proper circle, you can't break into that chain that you need to break into. So for transportation, yes, she needs good people skills. Because if she doesn't know how to talk to clients or solve issues or do anything, nobody's going to use her services again. And that is one thing that most people don't understand. You can't take people's stuff or people from one road to another and your service is bad. Let's take, for instance, airlines. If they don't know how to, communicate with their clients correctly, or let's take, for instance, your normal road transportation, GUO, GIG, and the rest of them, they take people from one point to another. And sometimes it might be because their people skills are good. People skills is not just about talking to people. It's about how you treat them. It's about how you make them feel. So for me, she has a very good driver, and that's the best thing to have in that line of business. But her circle is what is most important.
Okay. Let's give Timmy, right, a round of applause. So I agree with you, but I feel like we are sort of disconnected from our ideology. And what I mean by good driver is something that can easily translate to cash. Something that directly brings me money, right? And I said at the beginning that a good driver is a nice to have, but could there be a better good driver? Yes. So what is the best good driver that you think someone running a transport business can have? In my own opinion, what I think that is something that directly brings clients, right? Your growth driver is how many people you can service, or how many businesses or people you can move around in a month, right? Not the relationship. Do you understand? But of course, relationships will get you people. How many of you guys know who the CEO of Qatar Airways is? But of course, they do an excellent job, excellent service. Once you focus on quality service delivery, right? No one cares about your relationship. No one cares if you. I mean, for example, she services my business. Do you check up on me? I don't care if you check up on me. As long as when I call you and you move me from place A to place B and you give me a good deal, I really do not care. I'm not saying other people might not care, because you might have competitors that are also trying to lobby who your clients are. But if you are now trying to, check up on your clients, give them sweet offers, give them sweet deals, it is a nice to have. But a lot of people, what they care about is what they are paying for, right? If they think they are getting excellent service or a premium on what they are paying for, they are good. Do you understand the point now? So now, what you mentioned as your good driver is a nice to have, right? It can amplify your good driver. Of course, every business is, look at Zikora now. Zikora runs an e-commerce business, right? If he likes, he goes to the store. If he likes, he talks to the customers. But all he needs to do is create a system that enables the job to be done, and done what? Done well. Do you understand? And focuses on, if Zikora's business is e-commerce, because his business is e-commerce, it is much more easy, or should I say it is simpler. You create demand and you fulfill the demand. What creates the demand for someone like Zikora or him in e-commerce or fashion is they put out their products, they make it attractive, and they make you want to buy it. You stumble upon it on social media multiple times, right? And then when you buy, they fulfill the order. Do you need to see Zikora? No. Do you even need to know Zikora? It is different from a business like mine, real estate. Before I bring out 50 million to buy what you're selling, I first need to know you. Do you get the point now? So different businesses have different growth drivers, and some are much more complicated than the others. So our business is a service-based business. Of course, how she treats her customers is nice, right? But I feel like she could have a better growth driver. So I want us to help her create a better growth driver. I want us. So the people that raised up their hand and said that she could have a better growth driver, where are they? Okay, shoot. The mic, please. Yeah. So what do you think? Use the mic, use the mic. Is it on?
It's not.
Okay. It's on.
So what I think is, since it's a transport business and they transport goods and people, what they need the most, as you said, that can convert to cash directly, is sales revenue. And what will make people to patronize you is if they can trust your business. So I feel like transport business is more related to real estate. If they can trust that you can deliver and take their goods to where they want it to be, people, goods, wherever it may be, if they can do that, they will patronize you.
Do you have a social media page for your business? Is it on Instagram? Do you run ads? You don't run ads. Now you see. So your growth driver is getting customers. What brings you customers is advertising. Right? If you form good relationship, yeah, fine. I may know someone that needs a transport service. I may not. Right? But what brings your business directly to the faces of more people is adverts. I will give you an example. She does my transport services for me in Lagos. So I was looking for people that do the same thing in Ibadan. And I was searching the whole of the internet. And it was a hard search until I found someone that I didn't know. But I called the person and the person said, oh, this, we can do it. And I didn't know the person, but I paid the person. And the person delivered. So now the point is, if the person that I found hadn't been online or been on Instagram, right, I wouldn't have found the person. And because I now found the person, I now started to see the person's adverts more often. And one thing about people that are looking for a particular kind of service is when they start, doing Google searches or doing, certain search engine related things, what they are looking for starts to pop up on their social media. And if you are not running adverts for your business, then you will not be exposed to people that are looking for your service and don't know you. So if you're leveraging on relationships alone, how many people do I know that would need your service in a month? How many? Of course, it's nice to have. I can refer you to people, and then when I refer you to people, they don't have to ask you too much questions. They just trust you because it's coming from a referral. Am I correct? But you need much more of a bigger funnel than relationships. Do you understand? So your relationships help you ensure that you get recurring orders. How many times have I used you within the last 6 months? Is it more than 2 or 3? More than 2 and 3. Wow, I didn't know. But maybe it's less than 5. It's more than 5. My people are giving you money. Who is in charge of paying her? You. Wow. You get the point. You guys are using her on Saturday too. She's taking my money and I don't even know it. You get the idea. So the idea is she should expose herself to much more people outside of her network. And that's what grows a business. There's a limit to how many people she can know. There's a limit to how many people she can talk to every day. But if she is not positioned on a platform that expands, tremendously how much money she can make, then she will probably not be able to make that money. If Zikora had stuck with Covenant or Babcock, how many students are in Babcock? There's a cap to how many students they admit every year. There's a cap to how many items the student can buy every year. Maybe the student has money, 20 items in a year. So there's a cap. So you need to expose yourself to a market that is unlimited. And then after you get the client, you can now start to build what? The relationships. Do you get the point now? You're not agreeing with me. I know. I can see from your... But the point is, as a business person, if I would approach any business, if I pick any business today, the goal is to go all out. Of course, it's a good place to start from my immediate circle, but with what I have in my head, I'm not starting from my immediate circle. Like I said, the first thing is to ensure that you focus on a very good product, which is the seamless service that you offer, and then expand your market. When you expand your market, then customer retention is what brings in, follow-ups, check-up, and building good relationship. Maybe one of these days, because you take my money too much, you come to my office for a courtesy visit, you bring in a bottle of wine. Oh, fine. I will ask them, oh, you guys are going out next. Which people are you guys using? It's not this person. How you people should use her? Do you understand how I can influence that from building a relationship? But if she's trying to build a relationship and she's not offering a good service to start with, then it is dead on arrival. Am I correct? So, one more person before we proceed. 1, 2. I know me and you used to talk very well. One more random person. Where? I don't want to talk to these real estate people. Because someone asked me if this event was real estate related, and I'm like, my life revolves around real estate. This is something that is not real estate related. So, okay, yeah, let's go. Is it e-commerce related? You have a business outside real estate. Is it e-commerce related? Is it e-commerce related?
I want to add to what you said.
Okay.
It's not a function of building a relationship alone.
Mm-hmm.
For a niche is in like the transportation system. You serve or you service real estate people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for someone like you, it's a big market. What you have to do is search, make your research. If it's mainland you want to service, search for real estate companies on the mainland. All of these people, they have realtors community, they go on inspections, they need 5, 10 buses to convey them. Look for that market. Then your results, I've been able to service a dollar 20 times this year. This is the result, this is the report. I can do this for your company too. Put yourself out there, pitch. It's not a function of the relationship. What you do as an individual for your business, I mean, if you want to make money, you don't have to be shy about it. And Yoruba people will say, I mean, you have a goal. I want to make 10 billion. I want to make 10 million by December 31st. That's my own goal. I will not say I'm shy about my business. I have 3 businesses aside from real estate. A declutter business, perfume, and fashion. I cannot just keep quiet and be looking at you. You have to know everything I'm doing. So for you, it's a big market for you, and I see the opportunity. You're not just tapping into it. And also, aside all of these things, retainership also matters a lot. Because
that's where the relationship comes in.
Yes. Retainership, when you service these people, what do you do to be different? I mean, in real estate, we all understand we have different type of clientele base. Crazy clients, easy clients, and all. But when you learn to speak with these people, you know when to communicate to them, you know when their head is cool, and they will give you the response you want. So please, don't be shy about your business. Brag about it everywhere you go, please. It's only if you don't want to make money, but if you want to, and if you have a goal, you have to always hawk your business, market it like your life depends on it.
So Zainab, let me give you a direct pointer. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to come to probably maybe call me or come to my office next week. Yes, exactly what you're going to. I'm going to give you a list of all of my real estate friends that I know, and you're going to carry yourself, right? Whether to go to their office or call them or call their procurement managers. I mean, I'll give you at least 20. Now, the ball is in your court to close them. But I'm giving you what? The access. Do you get the point? So when you go to them, you're going to look like someone that is capable of what? Fulfilling their orders. You're going to look like you have a fleet of 100 buses. So you're going to bluff your way into getting their money or getting their service. And because you're in transport, you most likely already know how much they pay for these things. If you can offer a discount at the beginning, it is also a good pointer. Am I correct? So that's a direct approach as to what will give you, like if you do this thing within
30 minutes.
we are not done yet though. 30 minutes left.
No, left over.
I am 30 minutes up.
You're 30 minutes into your session already.
Okay, 30 minutes into my session.
Yeah.
Okay. How many?
That's the schedule time.
My schedule is 30 minutes. It's not possible.
It is on the agenda.
Ask Timmy.
It is because we have.
Ask Timmy. Talk to Timmy. You get the idea. So that's something that you directly do. So something very specific that if you do, it brings you what? Clients. Do you get the point? Okay. So that's it's as simple as that. One more person and then we'll wrap this part of the session up. Okay, you. Alright, give her the mic.
Sorry, he's going to give you 20 people. Sorry, I work in corporate sales, so I know how it feels to like pitch to business. Like what you're going to do is B2B. I would advise that you have a pitch, not so people don't like react pitches. Don't rehearse any pitch, but you can come to them from a place of, and this is where storytelling comes in. Tell the story of what made you start that business, and the most important thing every customer wants to hear is the benefits they get from patronizing your service. There is no business or there's nobody that wants to patronize your business without not, sorry, let me stand up. Sorry. I'm always working a lot, so I had to sit down today. There's nobody that does not like benefits. Everybody likes, what am I going to gain from you? What am I going, and make your business as benefitable as possible. That's the word I will use. If you have a way whereby you have a real estate company and then you say, oh, this is how I can also help. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's in sales, they call it dropping something for something. So you need to know how to do that. And in order for you to know how to do that, you have to be able to, do some proper research. And I said something about your relationships too. You can keep tabs, and who knows, one person is giving you 20, another person can give you another 20. That's a way for you to scale. And you should be more in touch with other people who are in your business so they can do partnerships together. One of these Nigerians don't do is partnerships. What? You can? Okay, and I can also help you like pitches and all of that too.
So now you have two people that are willing to help you today. So I'm sure you guys have a notepad with you, a journal, a new one. So you guys are going to fill it, and we're going to get there very soon. So, but before we get there, my organizers are saying we are far behind schedule, and then the final phase of my conversation is to talk about blockers to growth. So when I mean blockers to growth, I mean things that pop up when you're trying to grow that hinder your growth. And the simplest blocker that we have to growth is the easiest to be susceptible to. And what I mean by that is, what is this? I mean, the easiest thing that blocks almost everybody. Right, so to put it into better perspective, right, so we say things like procrastination, we say things like perfectionism, we say things like fear of judgment, distractions, and these are very basic things, and I can assure you that this very basic thing affects every single person and affects the growth of every single person. Because the truth is, almost all of us know what we are supposed to do. So it's either we don't do that thing at the right time, or we don't even do them at all, or we allow ourselves to be distracted, or we say we come up with very cute and fancy names like I think I work better under pressure. You know what that means? I think I work better under pressure. It is just a fancy name for being a chronic procrastinator. Do you guys get the point? If you're telling yourself you feel like you work under pressure, it means that you wait till 9 minutes. What you could have done and done properly, you wait until maybe say 1 hour, 2 hours for the day, and then your brain wakes up. It's a very bad habit. And you can't grow a business if you develop those kind of habits. So how many people want to share with me some other cutesy names or cutesy things that we tell ourselves? How many people? You have something to say. Why are you smiling? You procrastinate a lot. Okay, tell me something.
So, I attended an event. Am I audible?
Turn on the mic.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I attended an event recently, and it was very particular to what you said. And the person said, normalized nonsense. Like, we know that this thing, you say, oh, I work better under pressure. And really, it's not. And I think I'm very, very guilty of things like that. And to be very honest, it has really affected me in so many times. I know that, oh, I'm qualified for this thing. I'm supposed to get through with this thing. But because I waited till 9 minutes before I did it, it really, really affected. And I think one other thing is trying to think about what people think about you. Like, you care so much about people's opinion. Before putting out things, you start to think, oh, what would this person think? Oh, will this person accept it? Will this person like it? And I think that's really affect our execution, because you spend so much time thinking about what others would think, whereas that time could have been dedicated to thinking about how better you can go about it than thinking about what people would think.
So,
yeah, thank you.
Thinking about what people think is... Okay, go ahead.
So
we will not... This time you're using to talk. We'll remove it from...
I know.
From the time you're giving me.
I'm just an audience. You can see I'm seated. So I have something to add. And by your blockers to growth that you said, it's something that we have literally generalized, and if is people call it, oh, that's who I am, or when you hear people say it literally. So and part of it is, oh, I enjoy planning more than execution. You
enjoy planning?
Well,
you used to tell yourself.
Yes, like, oh, planning is a feel good process. So a lot of people, including myself, I can plan every single day of my entire life. Like, I can sit down and spend 2 hours just planning. Like, and to me,
you feel good about planning.
I feel good about it, but in the long run, I feel like it's a blocker to growth, because you can just plan, and I have box of, I just removed some of them last weekend. Sticky notes everywhere.
It's very cute,
You get green. I can plan. I can sit down and watch a 1 hour video of how to like, but execution, no.
I think I'd like to add something. Just do your sheets, like, do it, try it, if it works.
Okay, go ahead. She wants to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone. One growth blocker I think everyone also does, like most especially me, is trying to handle everything alone. I think it's one thing small business owners do, and we now take pride in it. I can do everything alone. For an example now, I run a footwear business. I make my shoes myself. I do the content creation myself, marketing and everything myself. Around last year, August, September last year, I could not handle, like, pay a content creator, like, to help me social media marketing, social media management. But right now, I think I can, to an extent, get someone who is like close to me to do it for me and pay the person a little. But I still feel like I can do this by myself. I can handle it. So I will have to go to the market, buy materials, make my shoes, produce everything, then start making content. Even while making it, try to do BTS at the same time, start making content with it, and every time take it, even sometimes for delivery, I had to just currently stop in-person delivery, like going myself to go and deliver. Once the person is close by, I feel like I want to make the customer comfortable. Don't let the customer spend too much on delivery. I will run again, go and deliver. And I'm also a student, by the way. I'm a student on this side. So I think it's one big growth blocker.
So let's break one more person. Okay, let's do. So what happens is that you are so involved in the processes that do not bring what? Money. Yes, you are the photographer, you are the content. What your core goal as a business leader is what? Doing things that brings what? As soon as you can afford to pay for everything else, start paying for it. If not, you are going to be caught in the loop of, doing things. You are an entrepreneur. Biz. On Instagram, I like her energy, but you're not making money. You've been doing the same business for 8 years. I mean, you're not making money. You're not driving cars. You are just jumping balls up and down. Please go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Malik Lawa. I'm a brand identity designer. So for mine is two, perfectionist and also waiting for the right time. I'm going to wait for the right time. I suffer for those two things a lot till January. I'm always like, I'm using Android. No, until I buy iPhone.
Before you start creating the content.
After iPhone, I bought
Before
iPhone.
the iPhone, and then is iPhone X. No, until I buy iPhone 12.
11. After iPhone 11, no, Kayode is using iPhone 12, and this camera angle is not fine. Okay, when I buy iPhone 12, another one is perfectionist. This thing is not fine. I might be designing a logo now. Okay, let me give you an example of mine. I've been doing graphics design for like, let me say 5 years, and it's very bad. I've done over, let me say, 400 to 500 logos, and most of them are international. Like, more companies have gotten logos from me and brand identity. But for me, I've not had a logo for myself until May 15, and it was through a motivation through a friend of mine. She was just like, just send it, don't worry. And why? I don't like this.
You're a graphic designer. Your logo must bang.
So I might have finished brand identity like 26 pages.
Let me give you an example. Edala. You guys know Edala?
Yeah.
The logo of Edala was a text. The logo we see used today was a text. I just entered Canva, looked for a nice font, EDALE, and that was it. Is that what is going to bring me money? People that are going to buy houses, do they care about the? But oftentimes, as business owners, we care about, the process too much, right? How my customers are going. Do you think you are selling bags? Do you think your customer care if your logo is pink or yellow or red, or do you think they care? They want to buy what? Bag. So give them quality bags and then get the customers to buy the bag. You want to do the logistics? Are you a logistics business? Are you running a dispatch business? I was telling one of my friends. He says that somebody cannot be buying an item of 10K and they should not be paying 8K for delivery. I don't understand they should live in Ikorodu. Is it your business? Yes, now is it your business? Yes, of course you should care about your customers, but you need to think of I'm sorry about that, but you need to think about what's sustainable for your business. Yes, you care about the clients. You are in business because of the clients, but maybe you need to start to look for clients that are not in Ikorodu, right? And sales and processes. The processes you are not running, you are building, and you are focusing on what? Sales. Look at Tony Elumelu. He's always going everywhere. He's always traveling, meeting with people, trying to expand the business, opening new branches. I mean, recently they were in Dubai, a new branch. They're in London, they opened a new branch. That is what? A growth driver, because it increases how many people they can cater for. And how many customers you have, can directly translate to how many deposits you can keep for customers. And how many deposits you can keep for customers directly influences how much money you can afford to give out as a loan. And how much money you can afford to give out as a loan directly impacts how much you can lend, how much you can earn from loaning those money out. So as a CEO, should his job be, you want to deposit money, right? Should he be sitting in the branch and trying to write checks and tell us for customers? No. His job is to ensure that things are working seamlessly while he tries to expand the business. So for you, most especially in fashion business or in graphic design, I tell my video guy, that's him there. I told him that if I was you, or if I were you, and I'm trying to run this business you are doing, my goal is at the end of 2 years, I want to have, I want to build the capacity or a process to be able to seamlessly cover 4 weddings in a day. But focus on getting the customers. Once you get the clients and you can ensure a seamless service delivery, build a team around what? Around the graphics. Oh, this work for you, and then you are sending the graphics to the customers, and you are very efficient, and you can make much more and be burnt out even less. As a graphic designer, if you charge, let's say what you charge per design is 100, you can't do more than 20 designs. You can't, can you? But if you have a team of 5 people, these guys can work on 5 designs each per day. You pay them, you get the money, and then, I mean, the point is, a lot of Nigerian entrepreneurs, they are very selfish. You want to make all the money, and sometimes the reason why you think, oh, you are trying to save the client's money for delivery is because you want to collect delivery money. Create an ecosystem for other businesses to thrive, and that way everybody does what? Everybody grows. But no, I want to be the dispatch, I want to be this one, I want to be the one that do this. Businesses that grow are built on what? Systems. So as you grow, invest in what? In the systems that enable you to grow. So you want to say something?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul. Now, according to what you said, I got answer to one of my questions. The second part is this.
Yeah, face them.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul. Now, according to what you just said recently now, I got the answer to one part of my question. The second part is this. Now, according, like in the line of business I'm doing, getting more customers, I don't know exactly how to put it, because most people don't like risking their money in the line of business I'm doing. They will want to sell the item first, then pay you back later.
So what business
then
you do?
Like currently is manufacturing.
Manufacturing, okay.
And I'm in the line of hair care products for now.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm hoping to expand to other sectors. Well, now it's hair care. Now most people will like to buy, but their own is they don't want an issue where they buy something and they keep it and it's not moving for them. Now I don't have issue.
Put it in your, it's working. Just put it close to your mouth.
Okay. Like I said, I got a part, like the solutions to a part of my problem from what he said recently. Now, the second part of my problem is this. According to the business I'm running, which is manufacturing, basically most people will like, as it's a new product, people will like to like get it, but their fear is if they get this stuff, will it sell? So most times, first customers will like to buy in credit, except if it's someone that's introduced it to them. I get him. So now, my own issue is this. I know personally, I've always known that advertisement is going to help like a lot in getting customer base. My issue is this. How do I deal with that loan? Because it's also going to affect me if I'm...
how did you what?
The credit sales kind of stuff, because it's also going to affect me when I'm doing that kind of stuff.
So I'm trying to understand your business better. So you say you manufacture hair care products. So you have your own brand.
Yes.
You manufacture it and you sell. Who do you sell to? People that resell?
People that resell.
Okay,
you like selling wholesale.
Okay, selling wholesale to people that resell, and some of them don't want to pay first.
Most new customers. They'll be skeptical kind
of. Yes, of course I should be, because you are not soulmate, you are not dermatol. Am I correct?
Precisely. No.
Yes,
that's like
the
main
truth.
reason why I entered the business to begin with. I had an experience when I was 13. It was very annoying.
So you are not soulmate, you are not dermatol. What's the assurance I have that your brand, once I put it in my supermarket or my store, what's the assurance that I have that it will sell?
Yes.
I don't have any assurance. So which means I need to first test. So if people are now buying it and it's now working, right, maybe we can now try it, okay, I can pay ahead. But you should be able to capitalize on this. Yes, you should be able to, because let me tell you, can sit. Let me tell you how business work. So there's what we call there's a revenue part to what you're doing. And most people that I've seen this kind of business before, most people that would buy from you, most B2B business, because these are your biggest customers, right? They are your biggest customers. They can afford to buy maybe 50, 100 at a go and stock it up. So right now, your goal, as much as you're trying to build a brand that sells a particular product, your goal as a business owner is identifying your growth driver. And one of your growth driver is having the capacity to ensure that you can supply on credit to people. As far as you know that your product is good, which is your first homework, you know your product is good. So if you know your product is good, it means that you should not be afraid to give people a line of credit on your product so that they can pay you back after. So now one of your growth drivers has become finding the funding, right, to produce in bulk so you can fulfill the demand, so that it comes back to you. For example, if you service say 20 supermarkets in Lagos and you give all of those 20 people 50 items each in a month and they're able to sell it, how much would that be? So what's the average price of your product?
Let's say 5K.
5K. So let's say for one product 5K. So if these guys sell maybe say 50 in a month, the supermarkets, and then you have 20 supermarkets that you sell to in Lagos, so 5K times 50 times 20 is how much? That's 1 million in a month. So I don't know how much it will cost you to produce the goods worth 1 million, which is now the challenge. So now your growth driver is to find the money to ensure that you have enough working capital to rinse and repeat. Do you understand? So as long as you can put the numbers into perspective and it makes sense on paper, then just a slight alteration of providing some allowances, maybe just in case one or two supermarkets don't sell or something, just put that into perspective and you discover that maybe every month you need to have maybe 800K somewhere to ensure that your business keeps operating in that model. And the truth is, trust me, not all the supermarkets will be able to sell. But if your product is nice to start with and people see results from using it, then running this model, you are able to do it. In real estate, you already do it.
I understand. Currently, I even have others. But the thing is,
that credit
yeah,
is your job.
because this is Nigeria.
Yeah, I know. It's your job. Nobody's going to do it for you. It's your job to figure out how to get that money. I'll give you an example. Last year, I was trying to use money to do some stuff. It is my job to look for creative ways to ensure that I get that money I was looking for. My goal is to move from 1 billion to what? 10 billion. Right? I will share this into perspective for you guys. I am selling real estate. I did 1 billion selling for other people. Right? If I want to do 10 billion, I can either decide to double down on selling for other people or start to build myself. And the one that makes the most sense for me and makes me the most money is doing what? Is to build for myself and sell what I am building. Because I make much more margin. But now, the problem is I need to find the money to build for myself. I don't have 200 million lying down or 300 million lying down anywhere. So if I need to make some incentive, I've sat down with different banks in the past 1 year. I've gone to the office, they will give me chair, they will give me coffee. I'm looking, how much can you give? Can you give me 500 million? Can you give me 1 billion? But of course, before I can go to a bank to ask for 500 million, 1 billion, I need to have done my numbers. Do you understand? I need to have done my numbers to be sure. It's just that a lot of businesses, we don't take time. Of course, over planning is bad, but you don't take time to do the adequate planning. Right? I do much more. Now my business operates on its own because I have people doing different things. But now I do much more of sitting down and actually, analyzing how can I use this my small 20 million, 100 million, 20 million, how can I use it to make 2 billion? I'm dark, I think like that. And I do the numbers, I calculate, and that's why you see that in this school is not a scam. Mathematics that I didn't do in school that I didn't like, it's not a scam. Algebra, it's not a scam. I didn't focus on area and now I'm in real estate, square meters, all of those things. It was making sense to me that all those square meters, length times breadth is square meters, and we are selling land in what? In square meters. So all of those things that we do, and all of those things all of the good products. You're a good product person. You have conceptualized the product, right? But to get your business to the point where you need it to get to, right? At a point in time, you stop being the person mixing the product.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. But now you need to take a step back to look for the money. Nobody's going to dash you money on a platter. Nobody's going to give you money and not expect enormous interest. It is your goal to discover a loophole or find a way to produce your product much more cheaper so you can have a higher margin. If you are getting a loan from a friend or from a bank or from somebody or from anybody, it is your goal to ensure that if I am getting a 20 million naira loan, right, and I am paying back maybe say in Nigeria, say 35% interest rate, which makes what I'm paying back around 20 what? Say 28 million. It's your goal to ensure that when you use this 20 million for business, right, you are making much more than 28 million back. That's your goal. Nobody's going to do this math for you. Whether you are going to try to reduce cost from your cost of production, whether you are going to try to ensure that whether you are going to increase your price to ensure that you are able to cater for that extra margin, but this should be your goal. Ensuring that when you're getting, because a lot of people are scared of taking loan for businesses. But one thing that you need to understand is the biggest businesses that you see today, they thrive and are still thriving on other people's money. You said? You want to say something? My accountant wants to talk. Let me give you mic. Okay. Take this one. Check.
Okay. So I think the comment I actually have is around the sales part. So for most of us, we are actually used to the fact that we sell directly, we make our money, and we are good, right? But it will actually be okay if we actually make research as regards that consignment is actually a form of sales. Consignment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a form of sales. Because if you see even these big businesses, the likes of ShopRite, the likes of Spar and all, there are some products they buy outrightly. That is vendor managed inventory and co. And most of the products are actually not bought. You bring it to them. When they sell it, immediately it becomes payable to you, right? So I think for me, what I would think you should do is that you need to then have two different funnel, right? You have the people you sell to directly, and at the end of the day, you also have trusted suppliers that you can also give your products to. And why do you need trusted suppliers like that? So you still have to do what you don't have to do, which is give them your product, and when they sell it, immediately it becomes payable. You have payment agreement, they pay you at a particular date. You have to factor that into the business. So if I'm seeing a product online, I may not trust you 100%, but if I come to a Spar or I come to a ShopRite and I see that same product, one way or the other is because I trust Spar, I trust ShopRite, I may actually automatically trust your product, right? Because it's coming from a reliable source. They build that brand over years, over the time. So you may also want to do that for the purpose of legitimacy. And then, just like how has been saying since Monday, we want to focus on the marketing side of things. Let people be seeing the product. And you want to do maybe customer orientation campaigns. So when I come online, what is the benefit I'm going to get from this product? So if I've been seeing it, you are telling me how to use your product, why is it better for me? Even if I'm not buying it, at least that is there, that product is being known, right? I'm not a marketing expert, right? But you understand what I'm trying to say. Have the individual guys, have the corporate guys, the likes of the Spar, the likes of... So look for working capital. Look for working capital. You need it a lot. Look for working capital.
I mean, and
you may now portion it into maybe everything I'm producing, maybe 40% is going to these guys, and I want to face the market myself with 60%. So at the end of the day, your business is self-sustained, but that one is still helping you to push legitimacy. And as time goes on, why not? So that's just it from my end.
So there's this particular ice cream I buy. No ice cream, yogurt I buy. So it's called, I think, Irish yogurt, A-R-I-E-S. How many of you guys have seen it? A-R-I-E-S. It's a Greek yogurt. So I buy it. I've seen that yogurt in Spar. I've seen it in ShopRite. I've seen it in my neighborhood supermarket. But I don't know who the producer is. I don't know where they are. But the point is, those businesses, they thrive on B2B. And oftentimes, we need to be able to leverage on other businesses' model. There are businesses that are already designed to sell what you are selling. So instead of, I feel like instead of you trying to do the normal day-to-day customers, just focus your core model on partnering with these guys that already have a platform to sell. They already have thousands of people that walk into their mat daily. Look at the big brands like Oral-B. Do you go to the producer of Oral-B to buy Oral-B? No. Do you go to the producer of, Lush extension to buy Lush? No. All of these consumables, fast-moving consumer goods, hair care, skincare, the producers don't sell directly to the customers. They sell to distributors or supermarkets that now sell to you. And that is the business you are in. You are in the B2B business. And the sooner you realize that you are in the B2B business, the better for you. Maybe you can have a brand online that just speaks to general branding and marketing and online presence, but the core of the people that operate in your field right now, they operate through a particular model, and you can tap into that model. Do you understand? So now, instead of trying to forge relationships with the person that will buy the 5K product, try to see how you can. I mean, there are a lot of supermarkets in Yaba. There are a lot of supermarkets in Surulere, across Lagos. You can start location by location, but the bulk of your work is figuring out the working capital. Of course, some supermarkets are not going to sell your product. Yes. Why do you think some big brands? Why do you think these big brands go to? I mean, they go to supermarkets. You see people wearing their T-shirts just to direct walking customers to where their stand is. It is orientation, and once people get used to that product and they like it, you don't need to pick their hands and walk them to the place. You don't need to do that anymore. And one thing about supermarkets is, if we have 10 toothpaste brands, right? Everybody that wants to buy toothpaste would not buy those 10 brands. Will buy one. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, supermarket still what? Still sell the toothpaste to who needs the toothpaste. So the supermarket will now decide which brand to drop for low sales. So basically, supermarkets operate like an open market. They don't advertise to you which product to sell, to buy or not. They allow the people that are selling those products to bring their people into the supermarkets to come and do what? To come and market their products themselves. And this happened to me yesterday. I went into a supermarket and I wanted to buy a drink. Before I know it, one woman came. This is new product. Come and try it. And if she does a good job, I would buy the new product just to test it out. Oh, our price is cheaper than this. Oh, this is when you have dandruff, it makes your hair this, blah, 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 blah. If you have curly hair, it makes your hair glow in the dark. Do you understand? So it's just as simple as that. Your business, you think you are in the B2C business, but you are in the B2B business, because almost everybody that operates in your field operates through the B2B model. I've worked with a fast-moving consumer good country business before. I work with Procter & Gamble, the producers of Always, Pampers, Ariel, and I work in the supply network. We don't sell to customers. We sell to distributors. Even those Always and Pampers and Oral-B that you see in the open market, the company doesn't sell to the open market people. The company sells to distributors. People that buy it. It is those ones that now go and deal with the open market people. While I was working there, the company has only, as big as the company is in Nigeria, the company has only 10 customers. In Lagos, we have only one distributor. In the north, we have about 3. In the east, we have about 4 or 5, and that makes it 10. And we sell every day to only 10 people. And these people buy in hundreds of millions every day. Do you get the point? So that helps a company like the company I was working with streamline the operations, focus on core people. You are not managing. And then I will give you an example. I shouldn't be saying this, but we have a 30 to 60 days payment timeline, which means we sell on credit and they pay within how much? For some customers, it is less than 30 days. For some customers, it is as much as what? So a customer can be buying products of what's over 100 million every day, and his invoices are piling up, but he's also paying them. So if the company doesn't have the capacity to produce in credit to serve these people, right, they won't make the money. So now your goal is to build capacity that allows you to advance that credit. Of course, I'm not expecting you to start very big, but if you can get small capital, we start with one supermarket, expand. If it works, expand to 2 supermarkets. If you need to sell to a supermarket, and for 2 weeks straight, you need to go to that supermarket and stand there, where your brand, they don't know you are the producer. Oh, have you tried out this? When you use it, it makes your lip very catchy. You get what I'm saying? So if you need to do all of those things to guarantee the sales, you need to do it. And again, one thing I have learned about business is what you have not done for your business is very difficult to direct someone to do it. In my business, I've worked in sales, I've worked in marketing, I've worked in accounts, I've worked in. So I have an idea of what I want to achieve with every simple thing. So if you're trying to hire a brand promoter and you are the reserved person, the person will come and just promote your business anyhow. And because you are not a good, salesperson or a good, you can't explain properly what the goal of your business is or your brand is, you won't be able to direct someone to do it. Do you get the point? All right, so I hope that answers your question. You guys have questions? What do you guys have? Question. It's a very important question. We have more time, right?
Yes, but it's not Q&A.
It's not Q&A session. But it's concerning what? Yes. Okay, all right.
So when I was 17, I got admission into Unilag. I was a student and I was writing my ICANN exams at the same time. So I wanted to start a business, and so I started an online business model, which failed. I re-strategized, and it also failed again while I was still writing my ICANN exams. So this very important question that have bothered me for months is, how do you know a niche is for you? And how long should you focus on one niche before you start diversifying? And how long should you focus on one niche that is failing before you give up?
I like that question.
Do you want me to answer that question very simply, or do you want me to elaborate? Okay, I'll answer very simply so you can understand what the end goal of my answer is. Everything I have focused on in life has never failed. So I may not be able to give you the advice of how long to focus on something before you give up. And the reason is because I ask myself questions like, have I done everything that is required of me to do to grow this business? And if you have a failing business, you will discover that once you ask that question, there are a lot of things that you have not done to ensure that the business is successful. And that's the truth. Unless we want to lie to ourselves and deceive ourselves. And the point is, to you, right, you might think you are doing your best. But the truth is, to grow a business to the point where it becomes successful, it takes much more attention than you think it does, because the time you're using to write ICANN, if you're focusing on the business, there's a high chance that you have more time for the business. Am I correct? So which means technically you can't eat your cake and have it. So if you have given the business what it requires in terms of, time, resources, what else? Finance, and the economy also doesn't work against you. If all of these are in check, your business will never fail. Do you understand the point? So if you give your business the required time, you are not procrastinating at certain instances. You're not, you know that you want to grow, you are playing video games. But if you give it the required time and the required resources, you get the right amount of money that is needed to push the business, and the economy, works in your favor, your business will never fail. Oftentimes it's because one of these things, something lacks. I mean, the economy can be good, financing can be good, you have everything you need in place, and because you are always waiting to work under pressure, the business will fail. Or because you are spending part of your time to write ICANN, the business will do what? It will fail. So, like I said, I am not in the position to give that advice. I've never been in a position where the only thing that I know can fuck me up as a business person is the economy or anything that I cannot control. As long as I can control that thing, it will never be ahead of me that this thing fucks me up. It will never. Because I am organizing 10x and I will be very ashamed to tell you that it is because when I was supposed to be doing this, I was not doing that. That's why my business failed. It is a slap on my face. So you should ask yourself, my employees know me. When there's a challenge or when they come and tell me, oh, this is, I'll tell me, yeah, why are you telling me this? That's the next thing I say. You are telling me there's a problem. Okay, why are you telling me there's a problem? It's not a me problem, it's a you problem. So fix it. Do you understand? why are you telling me? Is it just for me to know? Oh, nice to hear. Yes, now, is it not nice to hear? You're the person in charge. Fix it. Do you get the point now? So that's the overall point of, I've never failed in anything I put my mind to. Anything I know that I failed, I know from the point that, from the start, that is because I don't want to probably do it, or I probably fucked up somewhere. But there's nothing I've ever put my mind to. Right? The only person that can fuck me up is God and the economy.
So how do you know that niche is for you?
How do you know that niche is for you? All these questions are very funny questions. You know why? Because I believe that if I decide today to be a fashion model or a bodybuilder, or I want to wake up today and become what this guy is doing, I will do it. You guys put a lot of restrictions on yourself. If real estate stops working today, I've pivoted to the next thing, and I just need to be the person that can do that thing well. Shikena. If it's by learning what it takes to build it, I learn it. If it is by gathering the people that know how to do that stuff, I know how to do all these questions around. How do you know something is for you? Those are not questions. Do you understand? I'm a business person, right? I have the basics knowledge on how to grow a business, no matter the business. So that's why I'm able to convene this conversation and talk to you guys. Not like I know what you're doing, but if I was doing it, this is what I'm focusing on. I want to grow this business. Whether it's a videography business, whether it's a photography business, whether it's a programming language, I'm not a tech person, whether it's a tech business. Are you correct? So if I have an idea and says, oh, I want to build the next, payments gateway, blah 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 blah, in my head, how do we make this payments gateway works? Bigger than Flutter, maybe not, yeah, bigger than Flutterwave, bigger than Paystack, or as big as them. So, and all I need to do is pull resources together to ensure that this is done. Shikena. So all this idea of I'm not a creative person, the superpower of a businessman is the ability to morph into what is required to morph into at that point in time. So that's what your superpower is. Do you get the point? At certain meetings, right, you see me suit and tie and pitching to investors. At certain meetings, I'm trying to raise money, so I need to look like someone that has the sense to raise money. At certain times, I'm on site trying to ensure that what they are doing on site fits into what we are trying to achieve. And to do that, I'm wearing my construction helmet. Did I study engineering in school? No. But I need to learn the basic things that is needed for me to have an idea about what they are doing. Else, they will build rubbish for me. Is that not it? So there's nothing like I'm this, so I'm not an out-speaking person. You are just setting up yourself to be limited. Do you understand? So don't set up yourself for limitations. Expand your mindset. You can be anything. You can be a musician. Actually, you can be a musician. What does Charlie Poppy do? What does Charlie Poppy do? Charlie Poppy and Oxlade. Are they not musicians? Oxlade will do, but Charlie Poppy, as arena come, you just see me. It doesn't take a good voice to do that. Do you get the point now? But now people are jamming Charlie Poppy now even more than Oxlade. You get the point? So that's it. So you can be anything. It's not that some people are just delusional to do things in some certain way. If I know, for example, if I want to be a musician today, my goal is not to sing the best music that I think is good to me. It's to sing what you people will stream online. That's the goal. That's why I see that when a new artist blows up, other artists are lined up to feature him. The reason is because it's a business strategy. Because once I feature, this guy is the rave of the moment. Once I feature him, people will listen to my project. And that's why I need to look for the money to pay him to do what? Feature Wizkid and Davido, most of them are just featuring and featuring and featuring. All of the newest rave in the past 2-3 years, Wizkid and Davido, they have featured all of them. Am I correct? That's how they stay relevant. At certain point in time, your talent has gotten to the peak. It is now a strategy concept. So, I have no limitations. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Govli. I mean, I just want to add to the answer that you have given to him. I'm not asking a question. Yeah, I mean, from the question he asked, I think what I'll just add to that is that, I mean, there is this motivational speaker that I do listen to. I do not remember his name actually, but I do listen to his podcast. And there's this particular stuff that he keeps on like talking about. I said, commitment means no excuse is acceptable. Yeah, that means like if you really want to do something and you are committed, like the commitment is there. So definitely you shouldn't have any excuse or any excuses for anything you want to do. So I just want to add to, I mean, what you have said, that if you really want to do something or you are doing something, you should, and you know that you are you're committed to it. Definitely, like you shouldn't have any excuse. Like, do you understand? So for me, true definition of commitment is like no excuses, right, are acceptable, or no excuse is acceptable. Yeah, thank you.
The reason why I didn't go to the market today to sell my product is because rain fell. The reason why this is because I was cold. The reason why is because my dog died. I mean, those are good enough reasons for some people, but to me, it's a slap on my face. And everybody around, you can't give me some excuse if you work with me. You can't. You just can't. Your mouth will not, even if you have the intention to come and tell me, your mouth will not open up. So that's it. So if it sounds like an excuse in your head, right, just dismiss it. So does anybody want to say anything else?
Yeah.
Or we move on?
Please, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
You spoke about money bringers, that it is entrepreneurially wise for you to focus on the money bringer in your business and leave other things like content creation.
No, I'm not saying you should leave it to.
More like delegate it. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
delegate the non-money bringers. Your job is to, that once you find that thing that brings, squeeze
I want
it.
to ask you, what would you say is the money bringer? Let's say for the lady that spoke about her shoe business now, that she delivers, she does this, she does that. What would you say is the money bringer that she should focus on?
So, can anybody answer that question? You want to answer? Oh yeah, my co-speaker. Give it to her. Let her answer that question.
First things first, is she in school? Yes. Okay, so I'm also in the shoemaking business. So I'll give you a tip that I usually tell students. I have a shoemaking business. If I tell you that I don't know how to make shoes, in quotes, I've been doing it for the past 5 years. So the difference between you and probably any other person is you need to make sure that your business mind is working. So your money bringer is your business mind. How can you make this thing work is that you have to be like the salesperson of your business. There's a particular book, How to Sell Like Crazy. It tells you that, who has read that book here?
Crazy,
yeah, Sell Like Crazy. The first tip you know is that, sorry, I keep having a call, so it distracts me. The first thing you know as a business owner is they tell you that you're the first point of sales for your business. So as a business person, you need to know that you focus the other things that you can delegate, just delegate it. The remaining 20% is your sales. So your money bringer is how can you bring sales, and that's how you need to figure out, right? And for the students, I don't know, maybe you want to learn how to do shoemaking and whatnot. Your money bringer is actually social media. You don't necessarily have to do a lot of these processes and all that. Just do social media and make sure that you have very good quality goods. That's also one of your money bringers, because if you do that, you keep getting clients and they keep coming back. I hope I've said what is necessary for your business. Where is she? Oh, okay.
She said she's still a bit confused, but I'm going to start from where you stop. So the major thing is she sells shoes. What is her money bringer? Her money bringer is what directly brings money to the business, right? So now she should be focusing on sales. Yes, of course, she has social media, but if I'm going to now drill down to how to get sales, what you should be focusing on is talking to people you're in school, talking to you. I mean, if you are making shoes, and then everybody in your class doesn't already know that you make shoes, then what are you doing?
Okay, and also
That's
try to
number-
she can also try to sell at a very competitive price too.
Yes, yes. And because you don't have a shop, you don't pay for anything. The only thing you pay for is data. Do you make your shoes yourself? You make your shoes yourself. It's about time you start delegating. Because how many shoes you want to make in a day if you are selling the shoes?
So can I give you a tip? I can give you access to the shoemakers that make shoes for me. After this, you can collect their numbers. They make the shoes. All you just have to do is how the shoe gets to the client. That's a very smart way to work.
I tried outsourcing in my first year in university, but I had issue with them a lot because my place is far from where they are. I stay in Ojo. Most of the shoemakers are based in Mushin. So I have to go there, to and fro. And some of them, they disappoint a lot. So they can tell you they will 7 days, and the 7 days will turn to 2 weeks. 2 weeks will go on and on and on. And they don't even care because they know that they have influx of customers every time. So they don't really care about you and your customer that much. And they can use any material they want to. Though some of them use quality.
See, this conversation about this particular shoemaker, because I know a lot of shoemakers, this particular conversation I've had it with. So it's a recurring problem. And it is your job as a business owner to fix it. Right? It is your job as a business owner to do what? To fix this problem. Because if you say because somebody is not doing it well, you want to make the shoes yourself, how many shoes can you make in a day?
A full shoe in a day.
A full shoe. If I bring 10 of my friends to you and say, oh, all of us are having a wedding on Saturday, I want to make the same shoe, can you make that shoe before Saturday?
Before Saturday, no.
You can't. So you don't have the process. You are looking for money. You want to have bastard money, but you don't have the process and system that can give you bastard money. Am I not correct?
Sorry, Samuel, one other thing you can do is allocate the number of days you give your client and tell the shoemaker, if the client wants to collect their shoe in 10 days, tell your shoemaker 5 days. 2 things. In case they are going to make any mistake, they are going to do it within 5 to 7. Do you get? It doesn't affect anything. So that's what I also do. So you tell them they should make the shoe in like 10 days. You have already told the clients 15 to 18 working days. The clients will understand. And if you want to do the fast process, always make sure that you pay them express fee for that. Did that answer your question?
I also have another question. You talked about competitive prices, especially as a shoemaker who is also a student or who does business in university setting. And most students want to get things that are affordable. Competitive prices in the, like using now that I have to outsource, how do I work about making my prices affordable? Like,
How do you work towards making? So that's your problem. That's a you problem. You will sit down, do the mathematics. Are there certain products that people wear very often that I can focus on? You produce, right? Okay, can I just create something that is very simple to make? I can make more than 2, 3 in a day if I try to do it, and just start producing, and then on the side I can sell this as my flagship design. Something as cheap as 10k, 12k, 15k, that students, slippers that they can buy. You can, and then on the side you have the big designs that you outsource. So it's your job to, it's not my job, bro. My job is to point you. I will not tell you how to reduce your price because you know your numbers more than me. And if at a point in time I know your numbers more than you, then I should be doing your business. Do you understand? So it is your job to figure out what your numbers are and do the maths. So that's what makes you the business owner. Yeah. The money bringer for every business is bringing the people that would pay for your service or buy your product. So any activity around that, right, is what I will give you an example now. You now, I know you are into art, you paint. Your money, your growth driver is when you sell the art, right? So your growth driver is designed around, how many art you sell and at what price you sell your art. Because I know a lot of artists. I have a very good friend, he's an artist. He sells some of his art for as high as 20k pounds. He has never exhibited his art in Nigeria. He has never traveled to UK, but every year he does an exhibition in UK. So he has an agency he works with, they sell his art. So it takes time to design the art, contemporary designs and all of those, and then they sell it for him in the UK and he earns his pounds. He's my client. Do you understand? So he has identified that his money driver is not you. Nigerians, you guys value art. painting like this, 20k pounds. Are you kidding me? Do you understand? You must be kidding me. Do you get the point? So that's just how it is. So your own money driver is in how many arts you sell and at what price you sell it. Because the work of artists is not to sublet the art. The work of artists is to sit down and be crazy to think about a concept to paint. So which means you cannot sublet your art. So the work of your growth driver is how valuable you can make that art. You can draw one art in a year and be made for that year. Do you get the point? And that's how it works for artists. That's why I said for every business, it is different. So if you say your art is pegged at a price, there's a limit to what you can draw in a year. But if you want to be the Picasso or the whatever, it's how valued that one piece is. So that's what you'll be focusing on. Focusing on, branding yourself or making yourself very crazy. You are drawing, you are doing like this. People are seeing you. This person, this art is being inspired by some level of highness. I think this thing is worth $1.5 million. Do you understand? That's how it works. And you need to ensure that your product is placed in the market that it is valuable. So if you're in Unilag, you're selling shoes. And when the kind of shoes you are selling are the ones that they sell for 100k, 150k. If you have those network in Unilag, fine, right? But you most likely not have that big of a circle that can afford a shoe of 150k in Unilag. So which means good product, wrong market. So if you bring the Mona Lisa picture, the original one, they will match it. They will step on it. Yes, now, how much are they selling? There was a time it was lost now. Somebody stole it. It's still art. Is it money? Do you understand? I mean, if you see the art in Nigeria, who will buy it? Maybe someone that wants to resell it, not someone that will put it in his house. In Nigeria? Wow, yeah, I've never seen Sha. There are, yes, but me, I've not seen. So, which shows you, the majority of the market in Nigeria. So if you are painting, your goal is to get your painting in places that amplifies the value. So that's your own growth driver. Okay.
So this question I want to ask is because you spoke about the artwork and because so far since morning we've been talking about businesses, product and services that shows up as businesses. But when it comes to human brand, people that literally just want to blow. Yeah, say artists, influencers, those kind of things. So I want to ask now how much of a significant a business mindset is in that scenario, and then what can you particularly categorize as the growth driver?
Okay. So now, I'll answer this question very, very simply. I used to tell myself that if I want to blow on Instagram today, I know what to do. But am I willing to do it? No. Because it defeats the purpose of who I am. But let's say you want to blow on Instagram. Then you need to select a niche that you want to blow in. Am I correct? So, in Nigeria today, the users of people that are online the most, they are not the kind of people that the most serious people, they don't blow online. If you are teaching, finance and culture, the most you have is 100k. I've seen it. Have you seen anybody that is doing anything that it looks like, serious? I'm teaching business how to make money. They don't have a lot of followers. But you see the ones that dance. See the ones that do live stream. See the ones that because people. The point is, do you know the point of social media? The point of social media is for people to be entertained. And that's why businesses that have a way to entertain their customers online, right, and then they infuse their brand into it, do well online. Not sales. So their brand will do what? Grow online. Does it translate to sales? No. For example, I'm a real estate company. I sell properties worth millions. If I infuse a strategy to ensure that, my business serves the purpose of the majority of social media, which is to make them laugh, make them, content that, can go viral and every other thing. Have you ever seen somebody say, for example, you see some content around I'll use a real estate person. You know, how many of you guys know Ola of Lagos? Most of his content goes viral. Not because of the house, oh. It's because of the, oh, you will love it. You will roll on the ground. It's just funny. I want to be entertained. And is he entertaining me? Yes. Millions of people are seeing the content. Yes, but the people that can buy, they may not be up to 1%. So that's why there's a thin line between, you know, involving yourself in activities that actually grow your brand and give you sales. Online, you can grow, but you may not sell shishi. Do you understand? So, but for you now, if your goal is to grow your brand, it still boils down to your strategy, right? How do I? That's why I like this. That's why I like Aproko Doctor. He entertains us and he tells us about his own medical whatever. So if you are going to sit down like one Dr. Rufus that his handwriting is bad and tell us, yes, if you do people will not listen to you. Do you understand? So the world of social media is driven around what? Entertainment. And as long as you can, I mean, imagine now, after a very long day, I open Instagram. You're now telling me this. You just can watch your video. Do you understand? But if you tell me, Emeka, that boxers you are wearing that is tight, is about to tell us why, you know, wearing the tight boxers is bad. But the way he says the Emeka, Rufus, that boxers, that's why. Do you understand? It's already funny. And I want to do what? I want to be entertained. And let me give you the funny thing. When you go to YouTube, I would assume that a lot of us here, we are wiser than the average person. A lot of us may not watch a lot of these YouTube movies, right? But there are a lot of movies on YouTube that me personally I cannot bring myself to sit down to watch. But they're having millions of views to show you that the average consumer of online content, they don't really have sense like that. You think, yes, now. So if you want to grow online, you need to be able to create content that appeal to the average user of what? Social media. And the average user of social media, they're not that smart. So if you're doing, you know, most serious, overall best in seriousness, social media is not for you. Maybe you need to organize conferences like this. Yes.
I was going to say that there is this what's it called? There's this attraction to people that just blow on social media, which is not something I'm trying to attain. Number one, as far as they blow is as far as they as soon as they blow is as soon as they die. But
not everybody.
but I'm talking about sustainable, with substance. Fame with substance. Exactly.
Okay.
Fame like that of Chimamanda. Fame like that of, you know, people like that.
We'll probably never see another Chimamanda. I'm serious.
We won't see another of Chimamanda.
We'll probably never. It was because when she blew, I don't think as much people value literature right now compared to when literature was a thing. Now people have substitutes for literature.
But you know, you mentioned one statement now. You said when she blew. That's exactly what I'm saying. So beyond literature, beyond in that particular thing that you're doing, that word blew, that made her. We may not have another of her, but in another sector, in another platform, in another, we can have someone that does something as great. So how to actually, that word you just mentioned,
blow now.
Yes.
How to blow now is to appeal to what the majority of the, and look at someone like Chimamanda. What is carrying now, in my opinion? Not to rubbish the work she's done, but there's what we call old glory. Because we have rated you, we will always do what? Rate you. And a lot of people will buy her products or subscribe to whatever she's doing because of the emotional bias to how big her name is. Do you understand? And that is as simple as that. But in this world and time, right, the best way to blow right now is leveraging where majority of the people spend their time. And as long as you can leverage a platform where majority of the people spend their time, then you can blow. I'll give you an example, and a very good example is Nasboy. I like that guy so much. What blew him was making who? Davido. And over time, he evolved into what? Making skits. Because people that may meet people after some time, he evolved into making skits. His skits became funny. But now that a lot of people are making skits, he decided to start singing. He had like 3 hit songs last year. And his strategy was simple. the song doesn't really, bang bang like that, but he's an influencer. If he can get people to it's marketing. If he can get people to put the music in your faces, and then over time you start to vibe to the music and you like the music, and it just made me like this. Before you know it, you like the song. Do you understand? So you need to know on social media right now. You need to know when to pivot. Before now, people, Instagram as on its own. There was a time Instagram, introduced, even the platforms are evolving to fit into the mindset of the people. There was a time Instagram, what thrives here was, very long content. And now, if you can't look your customers in less than 3-5 seconds, just forget that content. It won't blow. Do you understand? So even Instagram, because Instagram is a business, the goal of Instagram is to keep as many people on that platform as possible, and they learn about people every day and people's habits, and they want to ensure that their algorithm is tweaked to ensure that people are staying on their platform. And that's why Instagram will only show you content that they think that you will sit down to watch. Do you understand? And the majority of people on social media, like I said, for example, for different platforms, is different. For Twitter, it's different. For TikTok, it's different. For Instagram, it's different. Do you understand? So that's why you need to ensure that, you are, for what platform it is you want to blow on, you are positioned. Look at someone else that I like very well, although a lot of people don't like her, is Vicky James. And the reason why I'm selecting her is, the whole of last year and 2 years ago, she was a viral sensation. I mean, she's the perfect story. Right? You people want to talk about her, she will give you something to talk about. And then she will later price her dress for $20,000. The people that have the $20,000 will pay. You that you are talking, do you have $20,000? No, but you make her popular. I'll give you another example there's this guy that talks about real estate. There's this Scott Iguma guy. He talks about, how real estate is not, but, oh, fine. Can you afford to buy it? No. Will you make us popular? Yes. People that can afford to buy the property of billions, will they buy it? Yes. Are you giving us free PR? Yes. I'm not saying there's no value in what you're trying to do, but sometimes, giving people something to talk about is part of the idea behind why some people do what they do. And sometimes you think that some people don't have sense. They have sense more than you, but they are behaving foolishly on Instagram, and you think they don't have sense. Look at you. You think they don't have sense, but they are fooling themselves on social media, and they are achieving their goals. TikTok is paying them. You are gifting them. Oh, tap, share, gift card. Oh, okay. And then you're laughing. You're saying, see people like, some people they will do, 4 people live. They'll be abusing themselves. You have sense, you'll be gifting them. And then later you come and tell them that you don't have sense. So who has sense? Do you understand? The goal is for you to be able to monetize whatever it is you are doing. And as long as that strategy works, nobody cares if you have sense or not. So anybody that can make money from anything, whether that thing is foolish or not, they have the sense. It may not make sense to you, but as long as they are profiting from it, the only time it becomes foolishness to me is if they're just doing it and wasting away their time, or they are too delusional to know that this thing is not going to make it and I'm still keeping at it. You are a musician, you are singing R&B too much, R&B. Sing Charlie Poppy. Do you understand? Or find a way to collaborate R&B with Charlie Poppy, and you have 1 million streams. Even gospel artists, they do it. I can never turn back. No, it's already. No. They find a way to infuse TikTok and social media and create challenges. Everybody that sings now, whether gospel or not, the strategy is to ensure that they have a short form that goes viral on TikTok, even if it's for choreography, because how can you spend money to do studio recording? You think it costs money to do? Of course, you are working for God, but it costs money to do what? To do studio recording and bring video. Do you think the videographer will not collect money? They collect money. Do you understand? So that's why there needs to be a pathway to revenue for anything you're doing. And you need to, the faster you can identify your pathway to revenue, then you get more clarity on what you need to do. Do you understand? That's why I'm focusing on the pathway to revenue. It is the easiest way to get clarity on what to do. So finally, I hope I've been able to talk about.
A round of applause for Samuel.
No round of applause yet. So I want to assume everybody has this book, right? So I know after today, a lot of people will leave here and all of the things that I've said today, or all of the things that the other speakers have said today, goes into this place and leaves this place. So what we are going to do is, we are all going to give ourselves a 90 days goals timeline, right? You would have a bold goal for the next 90 days. It could be a goal that you've been working on before, right? But the point of this is to look at how far, or how fast you can achieve that goal by doing specific things that you know you must do, and ensuring that you do it to the end. Because sometimes the reason why that thing may not be working, or most of the time, the reason why that thing may not be working is because you're not putting in the required efforts to get it done. So now you're going to document every single thing. So you're going to write your name, your business focus area, and your bold goal for the next 90 days. And you would include at least 3 weekly actions that you know that if I do these things weekly, right, I would be in a better place in the next 90 days. Whether it's your physical health, whether it's your financial health, whether it's, most of you know that you need to post on Instagram at least 5 times a week to grow your brand. You've heard it several times, but you still don't do it. You know now, am I correct? You know. You want to become an influencer, but you don't post like an influencer. You want to blow on Instagram, you want to have sales. When they look at your last post 8 days ago, why would they buy from you? Why? We self-sabotage ourselves. Do you understand? So, and then also write your growth blockers. Is it procrastination? Is it the fact that you think too much before executing? Is it the fact that, whatever it is, write your growth block? Because once the first step towards solving a problem is realizing that it's a problem. Is it the fact that I think that I am melancholy? Or is it the fact that I think that, Aries people, they don't used to make it in life? Or Leo people, they can only sell when it's rainy season? Or is it the fact that I think that those things work? And you're going to select an accountability partner, because one thing I realized over time is, it is easier for you to, work towards something when you realize that there's somebody that you need to report to. And most of the time, all of us that take our business or personal life very nonchalantly, we tend to always take other people's things seriously, especially people that we work for. If you receive salary in the office, right, and you have a KPI, I know that at the end of the month, your salary is better than your KPI, or maybe if you don't meet your KPI, or if you don't do what you're supposed to do for a period, you are going to have problems in the office. Most of us do it, but when it comes to our personal lives, we just take it nonchalantly. So you're going to find an accountability partner. You're going to impute their name and phone number and email you, and the goal is for the next 90 days, you guys checking with each other every week. Someone that will not tell you, someone that you will tell, I wasn't able to post this week because I had a headache on Monday, so on Tuesday. The person that will tell you the truth, not the person that will tell you, sorry, go, yes, queen, yes, girl. Not people like that. People that that they will tell you the truth. They will tell you, Shomokwe, you too, you don't have sense, right? You know this reason you are telling me is not a good enough reason for you not to show up. You said? I thought you said something. So you find an accountability partner that can tell you the truth. That you see, maybe not a boss, but someone that you respect. If it's a stranger, it's best because, it may not be best. For someone like me, if I have to prove myself to a stranger, I have to always, because I care so much about my reputation. I'll give you an example. Yesterday night, I was at the gym. So before I went to the gym, I had played lawn tennis. And when I got to the gym, I was a bit tired, so I was just slow. So a guy just came. The guy now told me, this guy, you'll be lazy in real life. When I heard that, you'll be lazy in real life. The power that I did not have. Me, lazy. Do you get the point? So I'm that kind of person. Anything that affects my self-esteem, my prowess, you cannot me lazy. You can't tell me as lazy. So yes, you can't tell me as lazy. That's the last thing I ever want to be called. So I don't know where the power came from. I just me lazy. So that's how it feels to have an accountability partner, someone that can point you in the directions that you don't want to go to, or someone that can tell you, Mr. Man, This is not what you say you were going to do, Mr. Man. Mr. Man, I will dump you as an accountability partner. Do you understand? So find someone that can always remind you, and not just someone you just love listening to, someone that you will listen to as well. Because imagine you have an accountability partner, you guys need to check in with each other every week, and this week he did everything you're supposed to do. You'll be ashamed to open your mouth to tell the person that I didn't do this. Do you understand? And once you can work well with a high performer, you become a high performer as well. Yes. Yes, so the people you surround yourself with matters, and I'm assuming that everybody here, right, can sort of in a way become accountability partners to each other, because the fact that you can carry yourself from your house to this place today means you mean business and you're serious. Am I correct? All right. So so finally, in the next 90 days, starting tomorrow, I'll be personally having the 90 days what's it called again? Sorry. 90 days execution roadmap, right, for certain people that I will personally follow up with, right? And it is going to be paid. And one of the reasons why it is going to be paid is I don't have the capacity to follow up with every single person here. And because it is going to be paid, doesn't mean I can't dump you if you're not serious. You pay for it. In 2-3 weeks, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, I dump you. And one of the reasons to get people motivated for stuff is if they pay for stuff, right? So, how much are we fixing? 50K to join the group chat. So it's going to be a closed group. Within each other, you guys will have accountability partner within yourselves, and I'm going to check in with every single person every week. And by the time we're organizing the next 10x, I want to be able to say, oh, these are the people that, I followed up with, and this is what they've been able to achieve within the next 90 days. I mean, maybe I was doing 10 million but at this point in time, but at the end of 90 days, I'm now doing 50 million. So that's the kind of results I want to be able to share with you guys and probably get everybody motivated. So, barring any other questions, or does anybody have any other questions? So, barring any other questions, so take this as my cue to bow out of the session today. I hope you guys have learnt, and it is a good use of your time. Thank you, everyone. And the snacks for everybody. Feel free to network. Somebody play me Shali Poppy, and let's vibe.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel. A round of applause for Samuel once again.
What's that?